So, very good afternoon to all of you, and I'm hoping that the others would join soon. Uh, Welcome to the third session of this workshop. And so, in the morning session, we had Sauhadra Srivastava who asked the best question of the day, and we gave him a chocolate. So, I thought I'd share that with you. So that's your friend, and your photo also can come in the session if you can ask the best question. And yes, so okay. So before we introduce the speaker, I thought we'll have a small poll, right? So here is the poll. So could you quickly fill the poll? It has just 3 questions. So I'll give you maybe a minute's time. I see that you've started to fill. We'll wait for 30 more seconds. Sixty percent of you have answered. If you can quickly fill it. So due to time limitations, I'm just going to close the poll. So we have 70% of you who have answered it, and let me share the results with you. So 54% of you think, 54% of you want to be entrepreneurs, and 39% of you are not sure yet. And how easy is it to identify a relevant project, implement it successfully, and have a startup right after graduation? 63% of you say it's difficult, and 13% say it's very difficult. How risky do you think is entrepreneurship? 13% say it's not risky at all if you have a wonderful product. 47% slightly risky. 39% very much risky. So I hope Surat Singh will be able to change these statistics at the end of the session. And over to Vibha ma'am for introducing our speaker.
Hi.
Hello. How are you, Suraj?
Hi, ma'am. Good to see
How are
you. I'm good. I'm good, ma'am.
Yeah, good to see you after a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. We welcome today's afternoon speaker, Mr. Suraj Singh. Let me have a brief introduction regarding the speaker. He is alumni of our department, Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering Department. So he has passed out in the year 2018. Right now, he is a serial entrepreneur and has interest with respect to e-vehicle, and he is the founder of e-drives, previously known as eco drives, and this was his major project through his entire engineering course. Next, they are on the mission to build a world-class e-vehicles to improve the lives of people nationally as well as internationally, and he is the co-founder and CEO of e-drives. We welcome you today for this session. Over to you now, Suraj.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the warm introduction.
Thank you.
I'll just share the screen then. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So yeah, hello everyone. So as ma'am have introduced me myself, Suraj Singh, and I'm the founder of eDrives. So I was a alumni of RIT and graduated from Instrumentation department, and I'm also the part of Entrepreneurship Development Center of our college. So before we go ahead, let me just tell you what exactly we do at eDrives, what we are doing from past 3 years at eDrives just after graduation. So what we do is basically we are a last mile delivery solution provider, and we see as a e-bike or a electric bicycle seems to be a very prominent solution to cut down the cost of deliveries by 50% and increase the income of the delivery executives by 40%. So currently we are doing a monthly kilometer of approximately 2 lakhs, and we are seeing a growth of 5x in coming months. So that's the current status. And the downside, if you see the current vehicle, what we are running is the image of the vehicle, what we have built and what we are running. And with these vehicles, we're doing 2 lakh kilometers in a month. So it's a huge number. I mean, with the maximum uses in a two-wheeler industry is what we are doing right now. So yeah, okay. So just to go ahead, just wanted to know like what comes in your mind when you come across the word startup from the students. Just wanted to know if you can just tell us a one word or two word. That will be great on the chat box. Okay, so I can see upcoming business, new venture, new initiatives. Yeah, a few more if you guys can answer anything. Startup is starting own business. Good. Building upon an idea. Fair enough. A new business. Okay. Okay. Being translating ideas into action. Innovation. Business based on a problem solving idea. Risk taking. Innovate for the betterment. It is a new business implemented on your idea or previous tech improved. What is market? Okay, so this is a good answer. Startup is realizing your passion and create something which can help people to next extended, making life effortless. Okay, life extend. Okay, changing lives. Okay, so we have good enough answers from our audience, which makes a lot of sense. Like people have said, it's passion, perseverance, changing lives, etc., etc. So on top of that, those things are obviously there, but on top of that, a couple of things what one need to uh, understand. Yeah, is like the some quantitative data also you need to figure out, like need the target audience and the market, right? But how big is the big question here? How big is the need, how big is the target audience, and how big is the market we are targeting it? So just to understand this, I'll ask another question, very small. Okay, if I want to start a business of selling water, then who will be my customer? If you can again answer this on chat box. Okay, farmers, okay, uh, tourists, residential areas, industries. Yeah, go ahead. Going, oh, it's good. Office spaces, okay. Restaurants, Bangalore, everyone whom get convinced to buy it. Local stores. Yeah, Okay. So yeah, all most of the answers are relevant. So everyone was having some or this other idea of the selling water business. That's why you guys were able to answer it so perfectly that yes, you can sell it to the farmers or to the local stores, to the restaurants, anyone, or in general, anyone who's thirsty, you can sell this. The last answer is thirsty people is so apt. The anyone who's thirsty, you can sell the water to them. So that's so appropriate. And the reason why I'm asking all these things is to make you understand okay, so the reason, yeah, so as I mentioned, the reason is basically the water selling business is already in the market. So we someday or the other day we all have went to a shop, buy the water bottle and have utilized that. So we know the business in and around and the need of that. But do we have a methodology or a framework where we can innovate certain things and can figure out a need of the customer from there till the testing, and that the prototyping or the ideation will come? How are we going to do that? And for that only, and to do that, there's a very good framework, what we call as a design thinking, which came into picture, and for which the college have organized a 1 week program. So I'm very grateful that the college have decided to go with this, and it will definitely going to help a lot of students to understand and implement in their all walks of their lives. So it's very important to understand this particular concept. So I request all the students to try and understand things. I'll keep it very short and crisp, and also keep trying to give some sort of examples from my company, what we have learned or how we have implemented this design thinking process in our product building phase. And at the same time, I'll try to give you some examples from the other companies at the same time. So yeah, moving forward. So there are basically 5 stages of 5 stage process for this design thinking. And the number one is the empathize, then define, ideate, prototype, and test. So we'll go one by one with the empathize, define, ideate, and prototype. So let's go with the empathize. So what do you understand by the word empathize? Basically, can you guys answer that on your chat box? Any random guesses will work. Okay. Understand the situations relating to the user. Okay. Feeling their situation, be in their shoes. Yeah, perfect. Understanding others, ability to see others need, emotions, problem, synchronizing with the thoughts, interaction from the other's perspective. Mhm. Put oneself in their situation and get to know the problems better. Perfect. Feeling the need of humans. Okay, humans have a lot of feelings. Okay, by talking to them. Mhm. Be in other shoes. Yeah, so the one line statement is be in the other shoes is the right one. The one line statement, if you have to define this, is the correct one. So let's move forward. uh so the next question comes, how do you empathize with people? So there are a couple of ways to do that. I'll go one by one. Is like, once you start, the first phase is to go start talking to the people, try to understand their need, and that's the whole and sole agenda of empathizing in the entire process of design thinking. So the time you go and start talking to the people, what sort of mindset you need to have at that point of time is, number one is without judgment. You should go, you should not have a background of anything. You just go talk and try to understand what they're going through or what they're looking for, with a beginner's eye, what we say, and with curiosity. Try to ask with why this is happening, why that is not, and all those questions you start asking just like a child. You'll start figuring out okay, what exactly the need is. So as I mentioned, the whole idea of empathize is to understand the need. And yeah, okay. So I'll just a second. So I'll just I hope most of you guys have seen Wolf of Wall Street. So I'll just show you a quick video which will help you understand this better. So yeah.
Sell me this pen. It's a amazing pen. For professionals.
Yeah, so correct. So I hope you guys have got what I'm trying to say. So once you start understanding the exact need of the customer or to whomever you are interviewing, you'll exactly try to sell the exact component or the service or the product, whatever you're trying to sell. You can position it well, and that's what they said, the supply and demand. In this video, the first case says the guys were talking about uh, the features of the pen. And as engineer, we always love to brag about the what we built. This is what XYZ. Okay, this technology we have used and stuff we do. Even in our college time when I was a student, I used to do the same. But over a period of time, we understood that we need to understand the supply and demand thing, and that you will understand once you start talking to the people. So I'll give you a small glimpse of our old days, how we have done this, how we have went to the customers and started talking to them. A small video I'll show you will give you some idea. So yeah.
Have you shared the audio? The audio is not there, Suraj.
So audio is not there.
Yeah, so while sharing, I think you have to select that option of share sound.
From where?
If you can just stop and start to share again. No, while sharing your screen, did you select that share sound option?
Yeah, I'll just stop sharing and then again come.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the way we went to different people. We have talked more than 500,000 people, try to understand what their need is, and try to, the whole idea is to get just to understand whatever they're feeling, because the delivery was happening its own pace. People were using the regular two-wheelers and stuff. Everything was happening, but still there was some sort of problem. What we thought that there will be, and we have figured that out. That niche you have to find. So yeah, so the next phase in the entire design process, the define. So the basically define is to make a point of view statement instead of making a problem statement. There's a difference of between point of view statement and making a problem statement, is that whatever you have interviewed to the people, just note down those points and try to phrase it in a paragraph, or if possible in points only. So that's the define part means to you. So how to frame your view of point statement is basically just two major questions what one need to answer is who is your user, and what do they need. Okay, so in our case, how we did that, I'll give you a quick look. So who is our user? So we have defined it in a very simpler way. Anyone having a daily runway of 80 plus kilometers want a quality commercial electric two-wheeler with a low downtime for charging and maintenance at a lower cost. So we have defined the user that anyone who's having a daily running of 80 plus kilometers and wants, and their need has been defined like quality commercial vehicles, low downtime for charging and maintenance, and at affordable rate. That is the need for such people. So that's how we have defined it, right? So yeah, just a second. Yeah. So moving forward, I'll give you an example of how, if let's say if you're not able to define your or define your point of view statement correctly, what might go wrong. So there's a very good example what happened in the market is Kellogg's. I think everyone have some way or the other day must have tried this as their snacks, right? So this is a global company who sells his product across multiple countries, right? So the time they're looking to enter in India, what happens, they thought ki across the world people are using it as a breakfast meal, but in India they thought ki Indian consumers gonna behave the same way. But in India, we see in north we used to eat parathas in morning and dosa and idli in south, if you see. So there's a huge difference, and that they have positioned their product as a breakfast meal in India, and the sales were not happening. And that was the time they realized Kenya is a different market and they have to position it with a different name. And they have understood that, and they have changed their point of view statement for Indian consumers, because India is a big market with comprises of 1.3 billion people. It's a huge market out there. So then they have made it to ready snacks, or whenever you're hungry, just eat snack kind of stuff, and started selling. And now it's a big hit in India. So that was an example to understand why it's important to put some more thought and defining your point of view statement. So then the next stage is the ideate. So the ideate is basically just a Silicon Valley jargon way to say brainstorming. So it's the one of the most important step in the entire design process, what we call, and it's a very high energy activity, what we call. So in this basically you have to figure out the whatever the possible ways or possible ideas which can justify your point of view statement. So first you have done the empathizing thing, the interview you have taken, then you have made a point of view statement, and then to solve that need, whatever you have figured out, you have to ideate some ideas you need to have to solve that, right? So in that, there's a very great say what everybody follows at this stage when you are about to figure out the possible solutions is the chemist, and is the Nobel Prize winner. He said the best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of ideas, right? So you'll get to understand this in the next slide. So how to brainstorm is basically defer judgment, go for volumes, be visual, stay on topic, encourage wild ideas, right? So defer judgments means basically you should not defend any judgment, or you should not have a prior solution. Let's say if I have a idea to a particular solution problem which I feel this can be solved, it's not the only solution which is possible. There might be multiple ways or multiple other right ways to solve that particular problem. So you should not always defer your judgment and stuff, and go for volumes. When we say go for volume is the last statement what we made as the best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of ideas, right? And if possible, be visual. If you can draw that whatever, or you can just explain that on a piece of paper, that will give you a lot of clarity in terms of whether your solution is really going to add some value to the end customer, or till where that particular problem has been solved by your particular thought, or whatever you can say. right? And then stay on topic. That a lot many times happens being a student, or being even if you are experienced, there's a high possibility that you go off topic because hundreds of ideas is coming and you think, okay, this is not good, that is not good, and stuff like that. And the most important, what I personally feel, is encourage wild ideas, because we generally don't give too much of time to thinking out of the box. But if a lot many times happen that those out of the box ideas only going to work out for such complex problems, right? So there's again a very classic example what we have figured out in the Indian market is with respect to Colgate. So I'll just go through that. This Colgate brand, everybody have know this brand. So what happened is their sales was not happening. There was a time when the sales was not happening, and the CEO was very worried, and he asked the entire team, "Okay, what best can be done?" So okay, so I'll ask you guys, okay, what best can be done to increase the sales of Colgate? Let's say today, if you're not doing good enough revenue with the Colgate, what are the best possible ways with which you can shoot up the sales, right? If you can answer me through the chat box, that will be great. Okay, ads make sense. Better marketing, perfect. The person in the ad, invest in marketing. Mhm. Showing scientific proofs, collaborations. Okay, changing the formula and then make it a whole new thing. Okay, few more if you guys can answer this. Adding emotions. Okay, dentist in ad. Targeting started advertisement with creating so it can provide a free sample with other products, attractive to kids with changing color, displaying by, make the whole big. Oh, okay. Providing free goodies, increasing awareness about dental hygiene, salt free, showing them benefits of using Colgate, introducing freebies. Okay. Okay. So I think a lot of people have answered this, and some of them have right answers. Some, well, all of them are right only. It's just I'm just trying to justify the point. Uh, uh, Going out of the box concept. So introducing new flavors. Okay, so introducing new flavors, changing the formula, and all those things is basically we're talking about changing the entire product. But what the problem statement is, I have, let's say, 1 lakh unit, or let's say 10 lakh unit of Colgate paste plays in the store across Bangalore, and I want to sell it. That is, if that is the problem statement, I can't change the formula, right? So in that case, how you gonna increase the sales? Because that stock is there, but I still need to sell it, but sales is not happening. That is one of the thing, right? Okay, supplying small size product to hotels. Okay, so these are the one of the ways to do the sales increase, but people have tried that, not the results were not that great for Colgate at that time. So what they did, there's one of the team members have suggested to increase the diameter of the hole, which is placed at the top, the red one, what you can see, the outlet of the tube, just increase that, because the consumptions will become more, and that actually worked for the Colgate. So nobody knows what will work out for you until unless you just try. And whatever answers we got in previous was somewhere every company or most of the companies will do that, because those are the most proven ideas or the ways to go ahead. So yeah. So, supply and demand. Okay, cool. So ideate, how did E-Drives do this? So yeah, so in our case, how we have figured out what are the possible solutions which e-drives can opt and solve for the masses was like, as I mentioned in the point of view statement, that the low cost is the need, the low downtime is the need, and the low maintenance was the need. So these are the three major problems what we were supposed to solve with any possible solution. We were not restricted with the thinking, okay, no, we have to do this, we have to do that. We were open to the ideas at that time. So what the low cost, the one of the best ways is to make it subscription model, what we have thought that time, and or else you just build the vehicles in volumes, let's say a lakh in a month or so, which was not possible at that time, and cut down the cost. Then you have a low cost vehicle. Then second comes the low downtime for charging. So possible solutions will be the either you have a battery swapping system in place or the charging, fast charging in place that time. So the entire new tech need to be built, which will cost you huge money and huge time at the same time. So those things were there, and then the low maintenance is the concern. So overall, in one word, is the quality vehicle is the ultimate need for the user. On top of that, some features like swapping or the fast charger, or and on the price front, either the subscription model is the one of the best ways. So that's what we did. We have clubbed all these three, and we have made a package out of that, and we have delivered them. But again, there's a catch. So if I have to do a subscription model, if I have to make a swapping system, if have to make a quality vehicle, why do I have to go with a bicycle form factor? Why not I can go with a regular two-wheeler like a Activa or any other scooty what we see across India? So there's a big catch again that the TG comes into picture. What we call the target audience is the right. Our idea was not to run the vehicle at 50-60 kilometer per hour. Our idea is to run the vehicle at 25 to 30 kilometers per hour. That's a decent enough speed to do your deliveries. And but the major thing what you need to have understand is the kilometer what I have mentioned on the point of view statement, the 80 plus kilometer every day. So that was the one of the catch where you have to redesign the things. Okay, let's use by using our bicycle architecture, what we call, we were able to reduce the weight of the vehicle by approximately 50% or so. So that have helped us to gain more mileage with a smaller battery pack, which have ultimately reduced the cost of the vehicle. And the battery pack was so small that you can easily take it out and charge at your room. You don't have to have a charging station at your parking or across the city. So that's how we have came across the possible solutions, and we have figured out, right? Okay. So next stage is the prototyping. So in prototyping, basically, there are two basic concepts there. Either you fail early or fail often. There's the two basic concepts what one need to go with that. So on the x-axis on the left side, you can see is the project timeline. On the y-axis, the cost of your project. So the early you do, it's better because the time is also there, and the cost has been reduced tremendously. And the fail often is you fail so fast that it's okay. At the end, when the time you reach your deadline, you'll be able to complete. You'll be the risk of your product will be less. The high chances that you will hit the product market fit at an early stage. So that will be the fail often concept says. So for example, if I have to build an app, so it's not required that I need to code that day one. I can just simply design the UI of the app on a sheet of paper step by step, and I can go to the customer and can start talking to them by showing it, fine, this is what we are trying to build, and this is how it will work. The step by step process within in a right fashion, a beautiful presentation you can make. That won't cost you. That will cost you only your energy and time, and that's all, right? So that's how, and the some feedback what you'll get, then again you do make the changes, and then you start coding that. So it's a fair it's a decent example what I was trying to give you to make you understand things. Okay. So yeah, so I'll give you our I'll show you my video how we have done our prototyping stuff. So yeah. It's a small video we built.
Find the real me. So let's go, seize the feeling. Cause you know, it's time for the meaning. Now we show, we're coming to win it. It's me.
Yeah. So that was our video, how we have done the basic prototyping, and then we have given for the testing. So that video combines with the testing as well. That we in the testing phase, you just have to give your product or solution, whatever you're trying to give, for feedback. You should not say, "Okay, I have something exactly what you need." You should you should say in general ki, I have something which might be useful to you. If you have such statements, it shows that you have a flexibility or you have a buffer in your mind to make the required changes as per the customer or whatever the feedback is coming from the users or the beta testers, what you call. Okay, so yeah, these are the five basic general stages: empathize, ideation, I, empathize, then you have to define, yes, then ideate, then prototype, and then testing. So I hope you guys have got a little bit clarity of what the design thinking is and how and why it's important to implement in your day-to-day activity, or as an engineer whenever you are building something, why it's important. Even if you are trying to build a business or not, that's the secondary part, but anything what you're building, you have to have that. So I'll also show you a small video of our company, which was an old video. So wait.
संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है।
So yeah, that was a old video. Last year we have released that during pandemic, how we have pivoted and how we have worked and how we are. That was the first batch we were supposed to be deployed, and then pandemic happened. So again, but somehow we were managed to do that. So yeah, so that's from my end. If you guys have now, I'm open for the Q&A session. So yeah.
It's a very, very handy vehicle.
Kindly put your questions, name yourself properly so that I can recognize you later on. Put your questions in the Q&A panel.
sometimes
Um,
you forget
But you have
it's
asked what is B2B
bicycle
type.
or
B2B is business to business.
powered in such a way
Basically,
that
the
it
word
is
there's two
as
concepts. There's a one is B2C where we call
with
business to
petrol.
consumer, and B2B
So
is
the
business to
comfort of
business.
this is one
B2C
charge
is when
good
I'm
for
giving my vehicle
2 3
directly
years
to
and
the
I love
individual
using
riders,
it.
and the
You
B2B is when I
all
give
should
to
try
a
using
company.
this
Let's say
bike.
Autobricks is a
Uh,
company. I have given. I build that company particularly, and he gives his team members or the employees, whatever you call. So then it's a B2B. Yeah. Next questions.
put your questions in the
Good
Q&A tab.
afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody across the globe. We are happy and honored to have another event in the Instituto Superior Técnico, the School of Engineering of the Universidade de Lisboa and the NSKD joint
Who's this?
distinguished lecture, featuring a panel of 6 eminent speakers, including the ACM president, Gabriele Anders-Kotsis, the IEEE Computer Society president, Forrest Schul, the ACM Turing Award laureate, Barbara Liskov,
Suraj, are you
the
sharing something?
communications of the
No, no.
ACM senior editor, Moshe Vardi, and the IEEE and ACM fellows, Nuria Oliver and Ricardo Bay.
Sorry, it was from my end.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah, there are, I think, questions coming up.
Okay. How do you build a backup plan in case your idea don't take off? Okay, so there's no hard and fast backup. See, the time you start having backup, you won't start giving too much of time to figure out the thing. So you, as an entrepreneurial mindset, we say ki just do it. I mean, there's no looking back. But to as a backup, if I have to say with my experience, like just after graduation, if I have started, obviously there's a high risk. Okay, fine, I am not going with a job. What will happen? What if it will not work out after 2 years, 3 years? So but if you're really working hard for 2 years, 3 years, the kind of knowledge and the kind of experience you'll have, people will love to work with you in their company or other companies. You can join anytime, anywhere. People love to have you as a team member, or maybe if possible, you can be in their founding teams as well. Because we also got a couple of offers from a couple of companies to sit with them in their founding office and work with them. So it's more of of the journey. So you should not worry about all those things. If you don't have a too much of financial pressure, I'll recommend is that's the right time to go ahead. And the next question is, what is success for a new startup? The Lakshya. So success it's how you define it. It varies from person to person. For me, I'm being happy right now. Whatever I'm doing, it doesn't matter what revenue we are making out right now. I'm happy. But for few people, it will be might be touching a valuation of $1 billion. Then that will be the happiness, and that the journey for reaching $1 billion valuation might take 10 years. So they'll be in 10 years. I don't know how they're gonna survive. So it's more of be happy with whatever results is coming up, and whatever you have opted. I think your company can use those hollow cylinder space using space for circuits. Can you explain the problem in that? I am not able to understand this question. I think your company can use those hollow cylinder space. Which hollow cylinders? The top tube, if you guys talking about, we are using that for batteries actually. Uh, what is your what is your B2B and B2C sales? What is your gross margin on the product? What is the valuation of the company? So the margins we are not gonna disclose now, but yeah, the gross margin I can tell you, but number of sales we can't tell you. But the gross margin we are seeing of approximately 45%, and the company is valued at $4 million, which is approximately 28 to 30 crores. Okay, so how do you differentiate your product from others? As in field there can be many competitors. Okay, so the differentiation lies in with respect to the kind of form factor what we are seeing and the kind of target audience what we are seeing right now. So as I mentioned, the point of view statement, the problem is not the vehicle. The problem was with the kind of uses you're doing with the electric two-wheelers. So there was hardly any vehicles at a genuine cost which will help you to run for hundreds of kilometers without changing the batteries multiple times, or holding you back, or the downtime is less. So that was the catch where we have entered. Yeah. How do people determine the startup cost and other expenses? Okay, so it's in itself a big topic. but it can be done. You can visit me in my office. I can explain you, or you can mail me. I can give you some templates to do that. What made you select electric bikes when conventionally everyone accepting e-scooter? Yeah, so this is this one I have answered it back, that why we have chosen electric bicycle architecture. So we are just using the architecture. We have reinvented everything from tires to tubes to rims to motor controller. Even the telematics of the vehicle has been designed in-house, because the regular bicycle, if we start using, the maintenance will come very high, because a regular bicycle can run at a speed of 10 to 15, and the vehicle weight will not more than 15 kg, and you cannot run or expect a life of a 1 lakh kilometer plus for such vehicles. So so that was the place where we have to redesign everything. So now our vehicle has been tested for more than lakh kilometers, which can run, and we can get our ROI back, and make it profitable. So yeah. How do people determine the startup cost? What made you select electric bike? Yeah, I think yeah. So the second part of this is the weight of the vehicle, and make it more convenient to the end customer. What I was telling, like the as a if by using the electric bicycle architecture, we're able to cut down the weight of the vehicle by approximately 50%. So that was a huge advantage in terms of the range, because the guys were looking for the range. How you think your company is better than others e-companies, because there is so much competition in company? Okay, so we don't think we are better. We are just doing our job and trying to serve our customer more, and we have because by doing the good service, we have seen more than 1,000 plus people waiting to take the vehicle in coming months. So yeah, we don't have to look for what others are thinking at such point. What made you select electric bike? Yeah, okay, yeah. That's like driver license. Okay, one guy have asked, after designing and testing the prototype, what do you have to do next? Like file a license in the ministry. What kind of licenses we are talking about, and what kind of design? If you have a product which is there, then you can obviously file a design patent. And if you want to run it as a company, then you can register your company as a private limited or LLP, or as a sole proprietor to run the business. Yes. Oh, so okay, the business mantra is I don't have any such right now, but one learning obviously is there's the perseverance is the one word to justify the entrepreneurship. What I feel, yeah. Okay, yeah. Can I get internship in your company? Yeah, most welcome. We open a lot of internship offers. Till now, we have offered more than 20 people from our college as an intern, and few full-time hiring also we have done. So yeah, you're most welcome. You can mail me at suraj@eDrives.in, and we'll get back to you. What is your biggest advice for anyone who is wondering how to make their idea into a startup? How do we recruit other like-minded people to help us? Okay, so it is quite a tough job to have the right set of people in your team, especially in the early time, because you have very less resources to defend someone, or to convince someone, fine, if you work with me, I'll give you this and that. So you need to have some visionaries in your team, or like-minded people who are okay to spend so much of time what you are willing to, and willing to take such risk at the same time. So in my case, I was a little fortunate. My co-founder Sumit was my classmate, and we both were okay to start the company just after graduation, and still we are working together and making things happen. So yeah. So the advice, so wondering how to make the just the best idea is to go with the design thinking process, interview people, whatever the product you have, you're thinking, or whatever the problem statement, if you have already, okay, this is the problem, what you feel, try to put that into a solution by building some prototype, or by talking to people. Try to validate that, because whatever problem you have, it's somewhere, it's just an assumption, it's not a fact. So you need to bring that you need to change the bucket. Basically, you need to take that particular statement from the assumption to other fact bucket, right? So just do that first, and once you do that, you have a lot of clarity. Okay, who is your customer, where you're gonna sell, how much you can sell, or as I mentioned, how big is the market, how needy the people are, and yeah. That will be my first advice. I will say, even in my case, I have done initially 5 vehicles, and then we are doing now the volumes now. So everyone start with one or two only. Why should a customer buy your so yeah, so okay, so we have a complete why should a customer buy your bicycle. So we are not selling right now, we are only in a subscription model, and the people who are using the bicycle is into the deliveries, whoever having the, because it's if I have to very specifically tell you why, the reason is the basically you are asking what is the value I'm creating to the end consumer. So the riders who are using our vehicle is able to say to earn more, save, you can say, or you can say earn 40% more with respect to the other vehicles. So their monthly runway cost is coming just 4,000, whereas if they use a regular two-wheeler, what let's say Active or any other petrol-based vehicles, it will cost them approximately 12,000 a month just to do the deliveries. And in our case, it's just costing them 4,000. So the huge money they're saving every day. So that's why they are using our vehicle, and the convenience on top of that, with respect to the finance side, and the charging and the maintenance. How do you deal with the family pressure? I'm building something, then just joining a job. Okay, this is a part where you need to convince a family. Okay, I have not faced that in my case. My family was quite supportive in my case, so I don't think I'll be able to justify this well, or answer you well. But what in my guess, if you have, see, there's a say as well. If you cannot convince your family, how are you going to convince your customer, or the investors who, or the resource who are going to give you, right? So explain them your dream, whatever you have, and they'll understand. How to approach the person or group that is going to fund us initially. Mhm. So the best is so in investment, if I have to tell, so there are multiple stages of investment. When you are at just the idea stage, we call it a pre-seed stage. Mostly the people who are gonna give you the money will be the friends and the families who have some money. I mean, maybe your father, maybe your brother or sister, or maybe some friend might pull in some money and give it to you just to build something, or whatever the idea is, just to give some tangible format, right, for that. And the next stage is the seed stage, where you start approaching to the angels, the individuals who are willing to invest in some startup. They look forward to people, and the best way to approach them is through LinkedIn or through various platforms like Aha Ventures is there, Let's Venture is there. There are multiple. If you Google it, the top angel investors in India, you get hundreds of people name. So like that, you can start approaching through LinkedIn, and make a proper pitch deck with, if possible, make a small video of your idea or the whatever you have, so that one should be able to understand your entire business in not more than 2 minutes, or maybe if possible less than that, because people are quite busy, they don't want to spend time here and there. So once you start doing that, people will start responding you, and then you can take it forward offline or over mail or over call. So try to get the first meeting with such people first. How do you deal with, okay, what is the need of co-founding company? Okay, so what is the need of a co-founder is your kind of is kind of your like full-time partner, whatever you call, because you can't handle too much work on your own. There's a business side, there's a tech side, there'll be sales, there's marketing and stuff. But early time, even if you are just building the product, if you are a product guy, then who gonna do the marketing, who gonna do the who gonna get the investments for the company, who gonna decide the business or the business strategy of the company, right? A person cannot do both the stuff. Even Mark Zuckerberg have two different people, right, to do this. So yeah, it's better to have multiple two co-founders at least. Don't go beyond three, what we suggest. Mm. Okay, what are qualifications required to get it? Okay, so the only one qualification, willingness to learn, will good enough for us to hire you as an intern, don't worry. What are the problems we face when this startup? So okay, so there will be a lot of problems. There will be financial crunches will be there. There will be the what do you call, the speed at which you think that things need to be done will not be there. The hiring of the team will be a problem at early stage. So that's when you have to have a very good strategic project plan and divide into phases and try to achieve that. That will help you to reduce some of the problems and achieve your goals. How to make team, how to that we can know the person correct as a good teamwork once company better. Okay, so that how to make team, how to know him better, the best way is either if it's coming from reference or you know him from long, that's the best way. Or the second is to work with him for some time, then only commit some company issuance of shares of the company, or something like that. It's better to work with 2-3 months, just give a soft commitment ki, "ठीक है, if things go good, you can be as a co-founder, you can work as a co-founder stuff, you'll have so much of stake in the company." But don't allot them once you are satisfied. What are your most proud of the company? Okay, I feel very proud when I see my customers running the vehicles when they pass by near my building. So it was a great moment for me every time. So most efficient advertisement technique, I would say, is a word of mouth. If you have a word of mouth technique, if your product is good enough and if you've proven that and the people are bragging about that, then you don't have to spend any money to acquire your customer. In our case, our cost of acquisition of customer is zero. We are not spending even a penny to do any sort of marketing right now, but still we have 1,000+ people waiting for the vehicle. So it's more of a the positioning, what we call. We can use electric bike rather than electric cycle. What makes a product special? Okay, so electric cycles, if you use, as I mentioned, the uses again, if you have a target audience who's having a runway of every day 5-10 kilometers, yes, you can use electric cycles, but the same electric cycle can't be used from the engineering perspective. I'm telling it can't be used to run 100 kilometers every day. That means we're talking about 3,000-4,000 kilometers a month. It's not possible. The maintenance will come so high that you will shut down your business. What's the future of your, okay, what's the future of your, okay, my company? Okay, so we obviously as a we are looking forward to go global. Obviously, it's not just the one product what we are building. And as I mentioned, we are at the early time I told you, I nowhere mentioned that we are electric two-wheeler company. We are a delivery solution provider. So there are immense possibilities there, and this is just the one product or one solution what we are building. So there will be new products will coming up, and we'll be going different cities, and and if possible we'll hit the global footprint as well. Yeah, it's a good suggestion, collaborating with delivery companies directly and going with that. So we'll be doing this in the second phase, because our idea is to get good hold on first B2C and then go B2B. Yeah, all types of pieces. How to exhibit our ideas. So exhibit, how to implement your ideas is basically, as I mentioned, whatever you have in your mind is possible. If you know for whom that idea is, or to whom you are trying to build that particular solution, just try to go and talk to them, note down their needs and frame them in a right fashion, and then again rethink, okay, what is the possible solution, what the solution what I'm thinking is the only solution, or there will be a better solution at a low cost. If that is, then it's okay, because your idea is to solve his need, not your own statement what you have built, right? So do that, and if possible you can serve him, if that is possible in your case. If as early you serve them, it will be better for you. And yeah, that's the only way. And the process will keep it will pivot back again. You have to come back to the boardroom, you have to change it again, and then again you have to go to the customer. So it will keep on happening multiple times. But at the time will come when you'll understand, or you'll feel, yes, this is the product market fit, people are okay to use the product, and I'm also making my money. So that time you can say, okay, now we can scale the business. Was cost an issue for your cost is always an issue for every company. Every time every company is trying to cut down the cost from various ways. So it's never ending debate, what we call. Yeah. What types have you ever think of quitting? Yes, but that was a momentary. See, all these things will come, the situations will be there where you will feel it's better, I should have been gone with job, and some discouragement will happen. But again, the second phase of your life comes into picture, and you say, you get reminded why you have started. right? And the time you get that answer, you'll be okay. Okay, let's do it. It's just a momentary problem. You're gonna solve with time. It will go, and you're gonna solve, and you're gonna move ahead because you know the end goal, what you have to achieve, right? Yeah. So that's the part of the process what we call in entrepreneurship that will keep happening. But never take that on your heart and leave whatever you wanted to build. Yeah. So any more questions, or are we good to? What age group or category is your major customer? Okay, so what age group is basically it's 18 to 50 what we are seeing, like, because the most of the delivery guys are ranging in that they lie in that particular age group. So yeah, we are catering them right now. What does success look like? Okay, what does success look like for your company? I don't have an apt answer for this, but again, as I mentioned, like, seeing your happy customers is the success. One way to define at this stage, at least, where you don't have enough the big metrics to calculate the revenue part and other stuff, or a very fancy valuation of the company is not there. That's okay, but at least if you are seeing your customer happy, at least you know you are going in the right path. And that's a success one way, because you have cracked that model, and just you need to have, now the next part is your execution, or how fast you can execute to the multiple cities. That's also, yeah, that's the success looks like.
Suraj, if you could identify out of the 36 questions, which one would be worthy of a dairy, silk, fruit, and nut, that would be nice.
uh, s- Anonymous attendee is there. He asked a good question only. Have you ever encountered something which made you think of
Yeah,
quitting?
but in the morning itself, we announce anonymous. We'll not be able to give because
Okay, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay,
So
sorry. Yeah,
with the
obviously.
name, if anything is there, yeah.
Yeah, it's a team building as a Aditya. How to? There's a question by Aditya Birda.
Aditya Biradar? Or
Yeah,
something?
it's
Okay,
asking regarding the team building. So it's team building is I feel is a good question, because it's a quite a, if you put some thought in that, and then only you could come to a
sure.
point to pick a, yeah, the team is now required after the idea.
Good. So, Aditya Biradar, either you can come yeah, even now, or maybe tomorrow morning, you can collect your chocolate. So, and if there are no more questions, we'll thank our speaker, our alumni, and our former student. We are very happy for you. We hope that your company grows leaps and bounds, and hope that the first year students are inspired by your talk, and we'll have many more entrepreneurs from our college.
Sure. Yeah, it was a great session. I mean, thank you for having me, and I'm also looking forward to some more few sessions like that. And it's good to talk to the first years, and I can see the huge questions are coming up. So it's great to see that. Yeah.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you, everyone. With that, we will close the session. So, if you could just wait for a few more minutes, we will share the Google Form link again. Just like yesterday, you'll have 1 hour to fill the Google form. And from today's assessment is compulsory, right? And yesterday, there are a few people who messaged that they couldn't. But ensure that today's you're finishing by the required time. Do not wait till the last moment, because by 6 o'clock we will close the Google form. By 6 o'clock the Google form will be closed. So kindly fill it. It is for your assessment. So do not delay. I'll put the link in the chat box quickly. No, you have sent it to me. I have sent it, ma'am. It's okay. It gives a different link, so you don't send it. I'll send it. Yeah, yeah. The deadline is 6 o'clock. So the form link I have sent. I will put it in the YouTube also. The deadline is 6 o'clock. So kindly fill before that. Your assessment is also there. So thank you for participation. We'll end the session here.